All right, let's jump right in. Today we're taking a deep dive into the heart of one of Nigeria's most vital and, most threatened natural treasures. Its forests. We're going to explore what they are, why they're in trouble, and some of the really incredible ways people are fighting to save them. So let's get into it.
But first, let's start with a big question. Something to keep in mind as we go through this. What is a forest truly worth? Because as you're about to see, the answer is so much more than just the value of its wood. It's about the air we breathe, the water we drink, our health, really our entire way of life.
So here's how we're going to break it all down. First, we'll get on the same page about what a forest even is. Then, we'll look at all the incredible things they do for us. After that, we have to face the tough reality of why they're disappearing. And finally, we'll get to the good stuff, the toolkit people are using to manage and even regrow these amazing places.
Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, Defining the Forest. It's way more than just a bunch of trees. So the basic definition is pretty simple, right? A big patch of land with trees and bushes. But when we talk about Nigeria, we're talking about these incredible, magnificent trees, like the towering Iroko, the super versatile obushi, and that rich, dark mahogany. These aren't just plants, they're giants that create this incredibly rich and special ecosystem.
And look, these forests aren't just some abstract idea. They're real places with names and boundaries that are actively being protected. And you can see they're spread all across the country. From the Imamu River down in Anambra, all the way up to Zamfara in the northwest, they really are a national treasure.
Okay, so that leads us right into Section 2. We know what a forest is, but what does it actually do? Well, let's talk about the gifts of the forest. Now, what's so cool here is how all of this is connected. We call forests the lungs of the planet for a reason. They literally clean our air. But they also act like an anchor for the earth, holding the soil in place. They're like a natural pharmacy with all the medicinal herbs, and a grocery store providing food. Not to mention, they're a home for countless wild animals.
And get this, when you really add it all up, the sources we looked at point to 16 essential benefits. 16! That's a huge number. From literally helping create rain to just making our world a more beautiful place, their contribution is just immense.
Which brings us to the really tough part of this story in Section 3. These incredible resources, they're disappearing, and we absolutely have to understand why.
The problem has a name, and it's deforestation. And the key word here is continuous. This isn't just about cutting down a few trees. It's the relentless removal of trees, through burning or cutting, without ever planting new ones to take their place. It's a one-way street, and it breaks that whole natural cycle.
So, what's driving all this? Well, it's a perfect storm of pressures. It often starts with the most basic human need, food. You got to clear land for crops and for animals to graze. Then you've got the huge economic demand for timber for everything from furniture to exports. On top of that, industrial growth and mining just carve up massive areas of land. And as if all that wasn't enough, you have nature itself, wildfires, droughts, floods that can just wipe everything out.
And the consequences? They are just devastating. Take a look at this list. It's basically a mirror image of all those amazing benefits we just talked about, but in reverse. Instead of preventing soil erosion, it causes it. Instead of fertile soil, you get depletion. Habitats are destroyed, rainfall is reduced, and in the worst cases, you can actually see deserts begin to spread. So you see, what we lose is so much more than just the trees.
Okay, so that sounds pretty bad, right? But it's not all doom and gloom. And that brings us to Section 4, the Management Toolkit. Let's look at the proactive strategies, the actual solutions that are being used to protect what we have left. Think of this as a whole suite of powerful tools. You've got the big top-down stuff like government laws and regulations. Then you have smarter, on-the-ground techniques like selective exploration. And then there are the really proactive growth strategies, regeneration, afforestation, and a really fascinating one we're going to talk more about called the Tongya system.
Let's just zoom in on selective exploration for a second. This isn't about stopping logging completely. It's about doing it the smart way. You only take the mature trees, the older ones, and you leave the younger ones to grow up and keep the forest healthy and the soil protected. It's a simple idea, but it's brilliant because it means you can have a timber supply without destroying the whole ecosystem.
And now for our final section, number 5, where we're going to explore the really exciting work of not just protecting forests, but actively growing them back.
So when it comes to regrowing a forest, you've kind of got two paths you can take. You can go the natural route, basically let nature do its thing. New plants spring up from old stumps. It's cheaper and it keeps that original local ecosystem going. Or you can take the artificial path, a more hands-on approach, where you go in and deliberately plant new seedlings to give the forest a kickstart.
Now, afforestation. This is taking it to the next level. This is about creating a brand new forest where one might not have even existed before. In Nigeria, this is often driven by these big tree planting campaigns, with a simple but really powerful rule. For every one tree that gets cut down, you plant 2 more. Okay, remember that super innovative method I mentioned earlier? This is it, the Tongia system. And honestly, this is a total game changer. It combines farming with forestry. Just picture it. A farmer is growing their crops, like yams or cassava, in the fertile soil right between rows of young forest trees. It's a brilliant solution that makes the most out of every single piece of land.
And this chart just lays it out perfectly. It is a true win-win situation. The farmers, they get good, fertile land to use and a better income. The foresters, well, they get their new forests planted at a much lower cost, and the farmers' work actually helps control the weeds naturally. It's this incredible symbiotic relationship that helps both people and the planet at the same time.
So, we kind of end where we started, but now with a whole new perspective. The challenge is huge, no doubt about it. But as we've seen, there are real, innovative solutions out there, from smarter regulations to brilliant integrated systems like Tongia. There is a path forward. And it leaves us with the ultimate question.